What's going on, guys? David Fowler here, and today I'm very excited because this is a tutorial that many of you have been asking me for a while, and I don't get a lot of haircuts like this, so when I do, I try to take the opportunity to record something for you guys. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start with 5 zeros. You can use your trimmer for this step as well, or if you have like a balding clipper or any clipper that you have for this. So anyways, we're gonna create a first guideline, then we're gonna go ahead and shave that under that, and then we're gonna create a first guideline. We're gonna use the machine with a lever open, and the guide is going to be, I will say, maybe like a quarter of an inch, I would say, just because remember with tapers you're trying to compress everything, or at least the tapers here in Jersey and New York, right? If you start going down south to Florida and other places, then over there the tapers are a lot higher, or at least for us they're high. For them it's probably just a regular taper. For us it's a very high taper, right? So here in Jersey we keep the tapers kind of low, very compressed, so that's something you want to keep in mind. So here we using a number 4, and pretty much what I did, I divided the hair. I sectioned the hair from the top and the whole bottom. That's exactly what I'm gonna fade. So I'm using a number 4 first, and then we're gonna create a base with that, and then we're gonna start down fading from there. Around the ear I'm still gonna use a 3, and I'm probably gonna use a 2 just so I create a nice transition from the sideburn to the neck. I think with tapers it's important to create that transition, right? Like if you just blend the sides and you just blend the back and there's no transition from one point to the other, I think it kind of looks a little bit weird in my opinion, right? Everybody's different, but in my opinion I like to fade that in behind the ear. So here I'm using a number 2. Always remember that when I fade, I always do start open with the lever open, and then I close little by little. That's the way I fade. I usually always fade like this. If in any video you see me fading the opposite way, believe me, I will let you know. So if I don't say anything, I'm fading top to bottom, open to close, if you want to say it like that. So we continue down fading. Just make sure when you're doing these steps, you make sure that you be careful with the long hairs, right? Like if you notice, I put the comb there when I'm gonna get close to my section, because I want to make sure I don't cut the long hairs. It's very important to preserve those, so just be careful with that. Here I'm using the 1.5, and from Andes, remember Andes now has they have a 1.5 now, like the wall, so you always remember that. And then here we're using a number 1, the same thing with the lever open, and then we're closing a little by little. How you can see, I'm not going as high anymore with the strokes. My strokes are lower, just because I have no reason to go all the way to the top, right? We already fade that. We faded the top part, and then now we're creating that transition from that dark part, to say it like that, to like a light part. So think about it like you're going from like black to white, and then you trying to create those grays, those gradients that are gonna make that transition nicely, right? So here we're using a 0. I think on the wall is a half, so, or the 1/16, and this is going to help us fade from the 1 into the 0, right? So it's important to have it. I know some people don't have it because some machines don't come with it. You can always buy it separate, like just go on Amazon or eBay and you can order your 1/16 there if for some reason your machine didn't come with it. Even though I think now all machines come with it, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, so now we're done with that step. We're gonna go ahead and just use the machine with no guard. We're gonna start with a lever open, and then we're gonna start closing that lever little by little. How you can see, I'm kind of stretching the skin a little bit just to give me a little bit more space to fade, just because like I'm just trying to fade that very small section. So it's important that you create as much space as you can, or find a way that is going to be comfortable for you, right? For me, it's comfortable to pull the skin up a little bit, and then it kind of creates a little bit of space, and then I can fade there. Once you're done with that, you want to retouch a little bit the fade. Then I think in every single fade you gotta retouch, right? It's kind of hard to get it perfect the first time, right? So you're gonna go ahead and pass the 1/16, use the corners, take your time, look at the mirror, make sure if you see anything dark you light it up. If you see that the fade is not flowing like evenly, then you gotta adjust. if for whatever reason when you're done you see that maybe the fade look will look nicer, a little bit higher, then as the client you tell them, you know what, look, I think the fade look a little bit nicer if it was a little bit higher. So then you go ahead and do that. In this case we were trying to keep it low, trying to keep the dark, so we create a nice transition. So you know, that was my consultation with my client. But remember that every client is different, so you always want to talk to your client and see what the person wants. So here we're gonna go ahead and start doing the shape up. So I try to keep it as natural as possible. You know, nothing wrong with pushing back the shape ups to an extent, obviously. You know, I mean, you are creating a fake line, right? So you're gonna push it back at some point, right? But for me, for example, I like to keep them more natural. Some barbers push it back a little bit more just to create a very sharp look, and it looks great, don't get me wrong, you know. But again, we go back to the consultation with the client, right? You talk to your client, you let them know, you know, okay, I need to make it how you want it, I need to push it back a little bit more or whatever. If they agree, that's fine. If not, keep it natural. You can never go wrong with natural, pretty much. So anyways guys, we're gonna do the back. The back is gonna be the same steps that I use on the sides. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave right here on the screen the numbers that we're gonna use, and then I want to let you guys watch so you guys can see if you guys understand what I did. If you guys don't, then leave me a comment below, leave me your questions so I can answer them in the comments, so we can all help each other out. So watch the video. I'll be right back when the back is done. Okay, so we're done with the back. We're trying to keep it darker on the back. We didn't want to go too high or too light because we didn't want to like kind of push the weight up to the section. We want to keep it like a little darker there. So that's, you know, that's that. So anyway guys, now we're gonna go ahead and start lining up or shaping up the client. Same thing, keep it as natural as possible. You know, like in this type of hairstyle, like once we already created that nice fade, then once you start shaping up, it's just gonna look very nice, very clean. So no reason to push it back, guys. What we usually do is I just look at where the natural line grows, and then just kind of follow that. If when I'm done it just doesn't look good, then, you know, I tell the client, or if I know like the client's not gonna mind what I do, then I'll just go ahead and do it myself, you know, without asking. But anyway guys, here we're gonna go ahead and use the razor. Before I use the razor, I usually use a hot towel and I lubricate the skin using like a shaving gel. And then, you know, if you do that always, because it's important to lubricate the skin, because you don't want to like you don't want to damage the skin, and you want to be careful with the clients. You don't want the client to like complain about it, especially once you take a shower and the skin wasn't lubricated. It's gonna burn like like crazy. So I was gonna say something else, but yeah, it's gonna burn like crazy. So yeah, guys, always lubricate the skin. Just always put the blade on a 45-degree angle and stretch the skin. Always stretch the skin, because if not, you can cut the person. If the skin is wrinkled, you're gonna cut the person. So be careful. Make sure it's always stretched, and like that, you're not gonna have any problems with the razor. And just let the razor do the work. You don't have to really like apply a lot of pressure, because those razors are super sharp, so you'll be okay with it. So anyway, guys, that's the final result. I think it's super clean, super nice taper, and I know you guys wanted to see it, so here it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.